All right, and we are back. Uh, this is going to be the first of many plans and machinations and ways that you're going to try to get your missing friend home. Somebody that you are both dearly worried for. And we're going to start with uh, a fill-in moment. We are going to come in on. Wait, no, actually, I'm silly. One second. Okay, we're back, and actually, I'm very silly, and it's a Motiva moment. We're coming in when you come back to Ravnica. Um, it's Motiva. It's been a long time since you've been back, and at least that it feels that way. You've managed to come back semi-regularly for your guild duties, but you're never quite asked for much, and for a while after coming back, you really wanted peace and safety and more of your friends, not quite as much mold or darkness. Um, but you teleport in. You never quite got a scroll to teleport you directly to the Golgari Guild Hall. Um, so instead, you do the tried and true fashion that you do every time when you come to Ravnica, where you get Chad to get you a scroll to in front of his house, and then you take the train.
Couldn't I just
What's up?
planeswalk?
You could try to planeswalk. Yeah, give me a roll.
Occultism?
Yeah.
Okay. Plus 15. 23.
All right. Yeah, I'll say that you can planeswalk to probably the center of Corozda. It's the place you're most familiar with, as opposed to planeswalking directly into Vraska's throne room. Um, but as you sort of go to start walking your way through the maze of decay, a place that you are far too familiar with, you see a familiar face sitting on a crumbling wall in a ruin near the center before you get to the split between the upside down castle and the amphitheater. You see a Devkarine elf with ginger hair tied back and sucking on a cigarette. And you see them go to make eye contact with you and give you a crooked smile as Adri says, "Hey, Songbird."
Hi.
What do you need, money?
Uh, no. That would be a lot more fun.
Oh, so you just missed me.
I could miss you every day, but it won't solve the problems I'm having now.
Ain't that the way of it?
Has there been any other walkers recently?
I mean, more as in new, or more as in just
Yeah.
more of them?
New.
No. The Guild Pact is actually in his office more times than not these days.
Wow.
I don't like it.
Well, you shouldn't say it aloud.
If things were fine, he wouldn't be doing his job. He's proven that in the past. I don't know.
Are you implying? Are you implying because he's working, it's actually worse?
I have the right to remain silent, and you don't have a witness or proof.
I'm not a fucking cop. How dare you?
Sure, hang out with one.
He's not a cop. He would be a terrible cop. He's joining math school. Are you kidding?
Hang out with a bunch of weirdos, you know that?
I mean, they're all planeswalkers, so they're all gonna be fucking freaks.
Yeah, exactly. Synonym. You hang out with a bunch of weirdos.
Yeah. I mean, she kind of like looks at them and like shrugs and is just like, oh yeah, a bunch of weirdos, huh?
Yeah. I'm the most normal one here.
Maybe I won't go for low-hanging fruit.
I can show you some low-hanging fruit.
Oh my god. I'm trying to tell you about somebody who could explode and you're trying to fucking woo me. I'm
Okay, alright. Okay. I'm not gonna say I'm sorry, but you can go ahead. Floor's yours.
My head might end up down on the floor. She's gonna fucking crawl.
What's up?
She's gonna crawl over. She's gonna keep going.
Oh, so you're gonna walk past them?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think that, just for old time's sake, they fall in line kind of just behind you.
And I say for old time's sake, she does a little ditty.
Nice. And it's nice. It reminds you of not nicer, but simpler times.
Yeah. She's also gonna light that cigarette that they have that they've just been slurping on.
Well, it was lit.
Okay. Sorry, you described it as like getting sucked on. I was just like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, that's a synonym for like taking a drag. That's like a really deep drag when you like suck on it. I don't know how to describe it. Anyways, it was lit. Adri's just a chain smoker.
God. What else can you do when you're a fucking elf?
Literally.
7,000 years to your name.
Literally. Here for a good time, and unfortunately probably still a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah. Adri falls into line. And you both make your way up to Vraska's throne room. In the past, it has never been difficult getting an audience with Vraska. You know that you have always operated on a little bit of a different playing field than even other Golgari in your station. So it's only takes, I want to say maybe like a couple hours, like 2 hours, for Vraska to be ready to actually like meet you. And you're let in as Adri kind of gives you a 2-finger salute and goes back to their business. As you sort of walk in, you are filled with a familiar sense of dread. Vraska's throne room is a looming cathedral-sized ballroom filled with the marble statues of her victims, including the ones twisted up to make the chair that she sits in. But when she sees you walk in, she pushes herself up to kind of walk slowly to meet you, the tails of her snakes slithering over her shoulders in her dress. And she goes to fold her arms and say, "Haven't even been back a day and you already need something. I hope that that doesn't mean things bode awful."
Well, I can't say it's good.
Things are never good when 2 planeswalkers are in the same room together.
No, you're really not wrong. She coughs and she thinks like she's trying to like phrase something politely, and then she just comes out with it and says, I was visiting somebody's home with them and something happened. A god cursed their being and was trying to visibly change them entirely. In that process, I tried to take us away from there, and that person is now missing. To put it bluntly, I do not know if that person is who I knew them as, but I know that they could be a possible danger to themselves and others, considering the amount of distress that they were in and the circumstances that they were changed under. While I am technically asking that if you see them, I could possibly be told, I'm also telling you because a person who is rogue is dangerous.
My first instinct is to ask why something like this should be on my radar with as vague as it is, but I feel like the implication it is another planeswalker.
Yes.
She gives you kind of
go ahead.
She gives you kind of like a crooked smirk, and says, I understand the dance around giving information, but start with that first next time.
Yes. I will say, I think Motiva will give like the full shebang, like the entire thing. She's just like, there was a god. I didn't want to fight a god.
Rewritten like the whole thing. Motiva's like going over like the past two sessions.
Yeah, 100%. Vraska looks, there's no nice way to say it. Vraska only really looks interested in part of it. And almost as a testament to how cold Vraska is as a person when you interact with her, she doesn't even really have, the depth of sympathy or shock that you see on people. This kind of brutality, while on a different level that she knows, is something that, like, she can fathom. And she kind of goes to cross her arms, her claws, tapping near her elbow. She kind of considers you for a bit and says, Swarm has sharp eyes, and another planeswalker in this city is something of note. I wouldn't mind keeping an eye out. It would be better for us if that kind of asset was in our hands over competitors. And I can keep it discreet to that effect, but I hope that you know that this is not a charity or mercy that I offer. You know my stance on getting planeswalkers out of their own problems.
Yes. Motiva has money, and then she also, hey, Sarah, sorry. Motiva's going to very bluntly say that this person is not actually her friend, and she does not necessarily actually care what happens to them. She's doing this for the sake of another person.
Fascinating.
In the words that I gave y'all the other day, You are either a part of Motiva's crew or you are not, and that is why she is black and green, baby.
It's true. It's true. I think even whenever you say that you have money, Vraska almost like rolls her eyes and says, "I don't need your money.
Rude.
I My final offer is this. We will keep our eye out. We will gain control of the asset. We will keep them here until such a time as they can be collected. And the price for that help will be that they will be sworn into the swarm so they cannot act against our best wishes.
That's fine.
Good. Then we have an accord, Motiva.
I'll tell you if they're actually found. I'm not very hopeful about this situation.
At the end of the day, it's less a situation to handle and more having as much information as you can about something happening. For what it's worth, good luck.
Thank you. And she does a big old bow. And I'm gonna try and planeswalk again, just to flex.
Give me your occultism.
Hiya! See, that's better, actually. Okay. It's 15, 28.
28. Awesome. I will go ahead and put on record. Feel free to remind me if I forget. You now can freely planeswalk to Arcavios and to Ravnica. It's not necessarily the same as like a teleport. So like if you're in Corozda, you can't planeswalk to like the Senate necessarily. But if you are coming from one plane to the other, you can kind of pick where you planeswalk basically, if it's a place you're very familiar with.
Bangin'.
Yes. You did it. Awesome.
I talked to my mom.
Yeah, you're very scary snake mom.
Okay.
Okay, get out.
Oh my god.
Simultaneous autism.
Simultaneous autism. No, one was a minute after.
For the gifts?
Yeah, on mine it says 6:56 and then 6:57.
It was sent
Mine
seconds
says-
apart.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're going to Rosona.
I'm going to Persona. I need to atone for my sins.
You have a lot going on in Rosona. Okay, Slay. So you come in. Give me a timeline of like how early in this do you think you go home? What is it like that night, the next day? What are you feeling?
I don't think that night. I think probably a day or two after.
Okay, we can definitely do that. As you get your scroll, because you're not a little planeswalker that can plane that, who sasses me. You get your scroll and you head on over and you come in outside the compound for Den Salrai. And it is there is a feeling that I am imagining where it is this sort of like heartbreaking nostalgia and familiarity of coming home. but it is starting to get to the point where you are away so much that there is almost like a distance to it. You know?
Mhm.
But I would love for you to talk me through what you're doing.
I think she's gonna arrive probably like a bit before noon or something, just to have the most chance of people being around. And I think what she's just gonna go ahead and go into the main building. I just call it hello.
You go to call out, and your family responds. I feel like it is common for when you come home for it to be kind of sudden, for it to be sort of without a warning. So there's this ripple effect of one person hears you, and then another person sees you, and then like they go to kind of like disseminate it through the rest of the family and through the rest of the houses. And they all come to sort of see you and give you hugs and kisses and come to sit you down, and oh, we like we can make like a lunch even though dinner isn't ready. And a lot of it is them legitimately wanting to catch up with you. Um you see the twins, the new ones, now almost a year old and looking. There's no way I can describe it except for like a dumpling. Like when kids are like young and like really fat and they're not like grown in yet, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And something that you notice about them, specifically being changeling children, is that features that they tend to affect to themselves are ones that uh, Min also like tells you about. Is they are a really big fan of tiefling horns and hooves because of how your den has a lot of tieflings, but they also have the minotaurs.
Aww. That's so cute.
It's really cute. I love babies.
Amazing. I think. Yeah, I think Velen is going to spend a good amount of time catching up with everybody. I don't think she shares anything pertaining to the plan's locking.
Yeah.
I think she's sticking pretty strictly to like school and friends. But I feel like, especially whenever everyone was first like coming out to like greet her, she got a bit emotional because it's been a while. It's been a while since she has been back home, and she missed her fucking family, and times are hard right now.
Times are hard right now, and it's easy being here. Everything that you have to do right now feels so big that coming home and just getting to delight in like talking like about things that have happened, but like the kind of things that happen between relationships or like work, and not like huge things. You know what I mean? It's such a simple and comforting like joy. So I can definitely see that she could be like really emotional.
Yeah. It definitely hugs everyone tighter than usual. Because I think she spends a while catching up. If they have lunch, she'll eat lunch, and I think it is once things have sort of calmed down a bit, and she's like, "Oh, I'm going to be here for the day." She's going to find Nim to talk alone.
Yeah, you definitely can. I feel like Nim picks up on whenever you kind of like go and you touch his arm, and you both really easily and discreetly kind of separate yourself from the group to go have a moment. And he takes you up to that kind of sitting room on the second floor that has the library. And he goes to sit down with you, and he holds your hands, and he says, I think his opener is, school must be getting a bit stressful now that it's kicking up. I feel like you can see it in the lines around your eyes.
It's a bit of an understatement, to be honest. A lot has happened, honestly, in the past 3 weeks, but especially few days.
He goes to squeeze your hands a bit, and I feel like he kind of just like watches you and like kind of lets you, almost like talking to the room and not just to him, like as a conversation.
I think she's gonna just go ahead and tell him everything, sort of in sequence. Specifically about like what happened with Eleni and Pragan and Nancy.
I think there's another moment, and I called back to that earlier in the other session, where he is sort of like listening to you in sequence talk about this, and he almost goes to like pull you closer. As I imagine when you're talking about it, it is emotional. This is an emotional couple of days. And he pulls you closer, not quite into a hug, but like his hands, instead of just holding yours, kind of go to your shoulders, smooth down your hair, and listen to you talk. And there's a reaction to what's being said where it's like an intense like amount of like sympathy and honestly like shock, especially whenever you discuss a bit about like the severity of the encounter with like Thassa, with the idea of a deity trying to like rewrite someone, right? But there's an element to this conversation that pulls you back to when you were on Lowry's rug, where even whenever you are sharing the particulars about these sort of happenings, there's a level where he understands some of it, and then there's a level where he doesn't, because it is so far above him. And I think that all he can do is like tell you that he's sorry. And that he hopes that, like when you found Motiva, that can be done again. And I think I don't want to say that he doesn't respond to the pregnancy thing. I think he is mostly just really worried for you having your lover be missing. And then like the pregnancy is like the sprinkles on top, right? But like, you know what I mean?
I think once she's done like sharing all of that, I feel like she then goes through this like almost self-soothing process where she's talking half to him but also very much to herself about like how steps are being taken to find them. It's going to be okay. It's gonna take time, but it's frustrating, but like we'll get there. So on and so forth.
No, 100%. And I think almost as like I like almost like a mimicry or a call and response, I feel like he is also interjecting phrases that are like similar. Like the idea that every time this happens it will be easier. You have more ideas, you like that sort of thing. Like I think that he is trying to like add to that. Whether it like works, I think is up to you, but I think that that is something that he is trying to kind of add to this moment.
I think it does help her a bit, if only for the fact that it is coming from him. Um, I feel like over the course of this conversation, she's going to basically ask, I guess in essence, it's like, oh, what would you do? But she's looking for advice because she does not know what to do about the Gregnant.
The Gregnant. The Gregnant is a rough one there. I think I'm gonna talk vaguely instead of like super in character because I think that he has a lot of thoughts and I love talking about thoughts, right? I think that his angle probably is I don't think that he thinks that. Do you also share that you don't know who the Pappy is?
Yes,
Okay,
she
good.
would share who the potentials are.
When Will is on the list, he makes a face, but he's like, I'm not surprised. Anyway. But, okay, so I think to him, it's not that he thinks that, like, he knows that depending on who, like, the sire is, right, that technically changes stuff. But to him, I think that, like, that, it doesn't matter as much because of the den, like, situation. The cool thing about having a den as a family is that it does take a village to raise kids. You guys have a really Rossona has a really good like social structure for families. So to me that feels like single parents are easier to handle and it's not quite so daunting. Not saying that he thinks he would be single, but like to him it's like at the end of the day, like you could have the egg and either bring it back and we can hatch it and then rear it, or like then you can come see them, or like you could like hatch and then bring, you know what I mean? Like to him it's like
Yeah.
you have a big support system, so I think that like that is not kind of the issue to him. I do think that he would be honest about like how the potential sire like reacts and stuff like that, and acts will like be something that he will be very critical of as somebody who has raised children with you before. So like if like let's use Will because he thinks Will ain't shit. If Will ain't shit, he's gonna say so. You know what I mean? But I think like in his mind, like the preferred path is lay egg, bring egg here, den raise egg, right? It would be his advice personally. I don't think he is like considering the idea of you not having it. But I think that if you brought up the idea, he would not be too pressed about it. I just don't think it would be his first thought, because he's raised kids with you before. He doesn't think that that would be something daunting to try to do again.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry for rambling. Every person is going to have different opinions on Gregnant and babies.
And I want to hear all of them.
I love it.
I feel like it's a very good little crawling into their brains.
I love it. I think it's super fun.
Little white boy ain't shit.
white boy, go.
Go, white boy, go. Okay. Yeah, I think she genuinely appreciates the input. I think it's very comforting to her, honestly.
Sometimes when you're freaking out about something, having somebody say, it's fine. It's
Yeah.
not that bad. Is like,
It's
oh,
not that bad.
maybe it ain't that bad.
Oh shit, you're right. Awesome. I think she would also admit to when she threw her holy symbol, and she would be very openly like, I don't know why I did that. I regret doing it. I tried to get it back immediately and couldn't find it. So I'm gonna be going to the temple today.
I think something very interesting happens here, right? Falin has only told a couple people about this, and both Will and Motiva were like, yeah, that's like wildly out of character, but you were irrational with grief and anger. I think that Nim looks at you like you grew a second head, because that is incredibly out of character. He's known you 2 times. That's really weird.
Yeah.
Because Zavine was also a cleric. You've basically been a priest for like 200 years minimum.
Yep.
I think that he tries to like soothe you in like a similar way to Will and Motiva, where I think his angle is like, everybody has a crisis of faith sometimes. That could have been that. But I think to him it's less like it's fine that you did that, you'll move on. I think to him is like, he's worried about you now because that could be an omen of your a crisis of faith does not go away. It could worsen. You know what I mean? So now I think his focus would be on like that. I think he would really encourage you to go to the atonement just because he knows how important your entire shit is, you know? Oh yeah. So it's like, he is like, that's okay, don't beat yourself up about it, but also be careful. Be thinking about it, you know what I mean? Instead of just like it's fine, it's a one-off thing.
Awesome.
And if you actually want, he would offer that he would take you to go and get a new holy symbol.
Oh, yeah, she would love that.
Yeah, he probably can't be there for like the ritual necessarily, but he can at least walk you there and like get you the holy symbol.
Yeah. She will do that.
Hell yeah. If that's the case, then we can move on to that section of this document I'm looking at. Where you go out with Nim, your loving. You know, it's crazy that partner now means romantic, because I was about to say partner like in a platonic way. But now I can't, because that sounds like dating partner. But you know what I mean, like somebody who
my QPR.
Exactly, you're something. But he takes you out, and you kind of go, and this is where I get to ask you a very interesting question. So you have a temple that you worked at, that you have gone to, right? That you know people in.
Yes.
Do you think that Falin would go to them for this, or do you think you would try to go to a temple that doesn't recognize you?
I think she would go to her temple, because I think in her mind, she's like, okay, this is a crisis of faith. I need the support of people who I know and work with in my faith.
Yeah, some people who can help you directly.
Yes.
I love hearing that. I asked that because I wanted to know if like Falin was like ashamed in needing that help, so it's very cool and interesting to know that she isn't. Um, okay, so you go. You are sort of led there, and you come up to it, and it is full of familiar faces. It's full of uh, Inez, the superior that used to work under you, and now is sort of your, I don't want to say supervisor, but you know what I mean. Somebody who now leads the congregation instead of you. And you see acolytes that you remember training beside, knowing like what you were kind of stepping back into. And there is a moment where Nim kind of skillfully sort of sidesteps explaining by just saying that oh, I seem to have lost a Luxonite pendant of mine. I would like to purchase a new one. And he's actually going to spend the money to buy you a new one.
Ah.
Yeah. And when he gives it to you, he kind of gives you a smile and is going to kiss you on your brow. And he's going to let you sort of lead into discussing with Inez your ritual. I know Inez is a smaller NPC, but I would love for you to talk to me a bit about your lead up into it, even if we don't RP the whole thing, because then I get to talk to you about the Atone ritual.
Yes. I feel like Phelan would also want to try and speak with Inez in like a private manner. It doesn't have to necessarily be in like a separate room, but like doesn't want to be talking about it like in front of a bunch of people.
100%.
And I feel like she opens it up with like, I need your help. And is essentially just going to explain how there was a moment where her mind faltered. It was under a lot of stress. And in that stress, she had thrown her holy symbol. And she would what'd she? I think she would include the fact of how she felt unnaturally angry at gods in general, and how she did not like that feeling. She doesn't know where it came from. She doesn't want to feel it again. And would ask for Inez's help to atone for the transgression that happened during that time of a clouded mind, if you will.
Yeah. She instantly drops what she's doing when you are seriously asking for help. This temple that is yours is I don't want to say really small, but it's smaller. You know what I mean? Like the people here all really care about each other, and you were a huge presence in her life, in both of your lives. And she pulls you to the side and she listens to your story, and her thumbs kind of rub into the back of your hands. And there is a flicker of this really, really open, like bleeding heart sorrow that you experience. That, you know what I mean? It's like, it's scary, you know? It's scary to have something like that shaken when that conviction is something that's so important to the both of you as people of faith. But you pick up a small, like, almost like a click of apprehension in her eyes. And she goes to squeeze your hands, and she says, I would be honored to help you lead you through this, and I hope that my presence can truly help you. I I know that that's... It can feel worrisome when you don't feel like yourself, but I know that that's not you. Because I know your heart and I know your character. And I'm gonna lead you through this atone ritual. The way that I'm imagining it, it probably looks different for each person. But because the Luxon is so focused on like introspection and learning and it's very unguided, I feel like a lot of what can sort of fix that broken relationship is very internal. So starting first, she would be very apologetic about this, but she would say that she wants to give this as good a chance as she can. And she knows that you are a very favored and very respectable, like, cleric. So she is going to have to, like, ask for your monetary input, I guess. And this is the cost of the ritual. It is 100 GP for this one.
100 GP? Okay. She would give that in a fucking heartbeat.
Okay, awesome. She feels really bad about it, but she wouldn't be able to do it unless you did. So she takes it, and she uses it to kind of go towards very specific, like, anointing oils and incense and, like, not necessarily offerings because Luxon isn't like that, but, like, things to kind of help almost, like, create a pseudo trance between the both of you, because you're both drow Luxonite clerics. And she goes and sets this up, and as she sets up this sort of quiet room for you both to do this, she asks you to kneel with her, and she puts both of her hands into yours as you both are kind of kneeling, looking at each other, and asks you to close your eyes, and she leads you almost through sort of thoughts and affirmations through this. And so what I would really like to hear from you is how do you feel trying to rekindle a connection to the Luxon as not only a deity but also a part of your identity? How do you feel trying to bridge a distance in a relationship that you've never had to question? Do you say anything? And also, do you feel beholden to repair this relationship, or do you feel ashamed in your lapse of faith? I'd just like to hear you talk a little bit before we make rolls.
Yes. I feel like in terms of how she's feeling about trying to get this repaired, is she's kind of almost desperate to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is something that is, in her mind, has been such a core part of her being.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even since she was young in her first life.
Yeah.
And so the fact that it was shaken like that, and shaken so intensely for what was likely one of, if not the first time, genuinely scary to her.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like taking this ritual is also, like, the success of it would be a comfort.
Mm-hmm. And then I have a follow-up question for that, because I think that's really fascinating to think about. Do you think that in your mind right now you need this to be full in? Do you feel like you need this?
I think so.
Okay. Then I'm going to make the primary roll religion. and then I need you to roll me a religion. Before you do that, because this is the first roll of this day, I do need you to make me that flat check to see if you're fatigued.
Yes. 13.
Okay. You do not feel fatigued, so you don't get that status right now.
Delightful. Taking that shit off. Okay. And then Religion. I'm gonna use my shiny little light dice.
Do it for the Luxon.
For the Luxon. Ooh. 26.
26, okay.
Ooh, excuse me.
Okay, 1 second. I have to find the DCs for this. I wish that they kept stuff like that all together.
Mm-hmm.
So you spend a day doing this. An atone ritual is very serious. It's very important. It's showing your want to be forgiven, your intent to move forward with that change. It is 8 hours solid of casting, of praying. You don't leave for anything. And by the end of it, you are delirious with want. The need is so powerful in you because you need it to feel like yourself. Because that moment where you didn't, that was the moment when you felt like you weren't yourself. And to you, this feels like the only way forward. But by the end of it, you don't feel any different. And whether that means something in the future, in the scheme of things, you don't know. But it didn't assuage your own worries about why you needed this.
Man.
So tell me in the future if you think Falin would want to come back and do it again. All right, that's going to be it for this section. So we're going to go over to Motiva.
Man.
Man. Hi, Motiva.
Hi.
Hi. So you had some plans for using those scales. And I have a question for you about that. Are you trying to do it with just yours, or are you asking Falin for hers?
I will say, I actually have 3 scales.
Oh, that's right, because you kept a bunch.
Yeah, I had 5 and I gave the other 2 to Flynn and Lainey.
Yes. Okay, that's awesome. So you have the 3. But if you feel so inclined, you can also ask Falin for hers if you like.
No. This is the fucking fruit from fucking Kingdom Hearts. This is that. This is gonna be our
Yeah,
retained quest item
the Wayfinder.
from this arc. Yes.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. I would love. I have a couple different ways that this could go. And so I'll kind of just lay them out for you because I think that you would be able to register with like a day or two of like research what your options are. You know that Grayson has pulled together people who can scry before. And I remember that Motivo learned that an issue that Grayson had with trying to find a Sean was specifically that nobody was close with a Sean.
Yes.
You find out very quickly, actually, as the days pass, that Eleni was very much beloved at Strixhaven. There is very rarely somebody who frequented the Central Campus or the Biblioplex or Prismari that did not know and have very vivid feelings and memories of Eleni. So one of your options is to go to Grayson and go and have somebody else try to do a scrying. You also have the option of attempting to upcast and take whatever negative response you can from that to try to cast your own scrying, even though it is a level above you, a level that you cannot normally cast. So, to me, I want you to walk me through Motiva's thoughts on if she is going to try to do it herself with her connection to these scales and to that moment, or if she is going to entrust that to another person.
Yeah. I think Motiva would go with the scales. This is so fucking brutally cold. I do not think Motiva would be willing to put herself in danger for Eleni after this, because she truly does not 100% believe that is going to be Eleni anymore as she knows them.
And I think that's fair. I think that's I think that it is such a fair thing to go into this knowing that there are risks and knowing that what you might find might not be worth it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so sorry. So are you saying you're going to go to Grayson?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Sorry. Yeah, you go and you find Grayson, and he's sort of been hovering around you recently. As I said the last time you talked to him, you're actually seeing him like the whole time, the entire since Ground Zero, be up and running and trying to help, and it is sort of starting to wear on him. Even when he was helping with Ashan, that was already like after finding out you were okay. But after both you and Ashan have come back, I think that he is registering how serious this can be. But you come up to him, and he asks pretty honestly if there's any updates.
Well, uh, Bolin is here.
Yes, somebody told me
That's-
that whenever she was brought back. And that's good. At the very least, that's good.
I also told her what you told me. Hopefully, you have not heard that through a grapevine.
No, I hadn't.
Okay. Motiva's going to bust out the scales and she's going to say, before everything went to hell, we got attacked by a creature. I gave Eleni one of its scales. So
we have
I
a tie.
Yes,
Okay.
I have 3 of these.
Okay. Okay. A tether works phenomenally with things like scrying and divination and translocation and all of that. Okay. If you are willing, I will need 2 of them.
She easily gives it over.
Okay. You keep that other one. It might need to be the last ditch effort. I'm unsure if these can be damaged during this. Scrying into another plane was difficult enough as it is. Okay. I will go and I'll find my people and I will put everything to writing the minute we have it, and I'll bring it to you.
Okay. Grayson.
What?
Remember to take care of yourself.
I'll try.
I'll make you.
I mean, to be fair, I do have to manage my stress levels, or else I am suddenly turning into a dog every 5 seconds. So I'll keep a cool head.
I'll see you later. Be safe.
Yeah. Hopefully, I'll have better news.
Hopefully we'll have 2 things to exchange. That's it.
I think that it makes him give a sort of crooked smile. And you feel his hand sort of trail on your forearm as you go to separate and go about your business. Sorry for the short scene, but you will definitely be getting something whenever I do my rolls off of recording.
Yippee!
Yippee!
Woo!
Woo! Awesome. So
Water
then,
time!
yeah, and actually, it's a 2-person thing. So going into our last scene, something very interesting for a lot of you is Waters of Prediction is a 3-person ritual. You need a primary caster and 2 secondary casters.
You need 3 secondary casters.
You need 3? Damn, what the hell? Okay, never mind. I can't read. Thank you.
Rowan!
You definitely can. I'm gonna see if there's anybody who would be better suited for it, because if you think Rowan has nature, occultism, religion, or survival, you're funny.
I am pretty funny, though.
I think if you wanted, Giselle is pretty good at occultism.
Ooh.
Oh, that's hot.
Would you like to do that?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So, then I think like a really good layout would be Flynn would have to be the primary caster, and then Motiva, Will, and Giselle. Which, hilariously, was also the group in the last session.
Yeah.
Very funny. Okay, Slay. So, you guys have to find a place that's relatively... I'm so sorry. Relatively secluded. And you also have to find a natural pool or lake. So, I would love to ask y'all, do you think that you do this on Quandrix or Witherbloom?
I feel like Phelan would feel inclined to do it on Quandrix.
Do you agree with that, Motiva?
Yeah, I think Motiva would not be inclined to do it in Witherbloom. I was like, oh, well, like, oh, there's like more life there, and then I'd like thought about it in character, and I was just like, nah, Quandrix.
I think Flynn would also ask if anybody is willing to chip in to contribute funds, because it costs 300 gold.
It's expensive as fuck.
Jesus.
Giselle
She
cannot
can-
offer any money.
This is fair.
All of her money goes to her mom, so...
Yeah,
All
yeah,
of her money goes to her mommy.
as it should.
Yeah. I have 100 GP.
Don't do too much, because Flynn has 400 gold, so like she could do all
Jesus.
300. It would just mean that she would only have 100 left.
Will can put for 23 gold.
Nice.
A moth flies out of his wallet afterwards.
Jesus.
William.
I was gonna say I have 195 gold. Sarah, I need you to remember how much money you have compared to literally everybody in Strixhaven.
Oh no, I know. I'm aware.
I can give 100 golds.
You don't gotta do that much.
I can give you 50 gold.
Only if you are okay with it.
Okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I will cover the rest. That would be 3 minus 15. Okay, so I will pay 227.
Slay.
I'm gonna subtract that real quick before I forget.
Subtract this pussy.
Bubble. There we go. I am now at 190.
Nice.
Okay.
All right. You guys spend a day sort of very meticulously combing Quandrix campus for a small pool or pond that you all can encircle to try and glean something. Glean a danger that you can hopefully unwrite from the future ahead. And you spend the money to sort of get these rare incenses to help sort of help call sort of that mystical energy, and herbs to shower gently over the waters as they lap against the shore. And I would love if either of you could tell me how you think you're feeling going into this ritual. It takes about 4 hours to cast it.
think Falin is very nervous about whether or not it'll work. Mainly because if it doesn't work, then we've pretty much lost an option of trying to find Eleni, but also because this shit expensive.
Yeah. You wouldn't be able to do it a second time. You know what I mean?
We would not. This is our one shot.
I think Motiva's worried we're going to see something we don't want to see. I think she keeps looking at Giselle in like, what if this is a bad idea?
It could be a very bad idea. All right. As you all kind of set down to this pool with this feeling of sort of worry and trepidation, you start casting. You see that Giselle puts out her hands holding her Abyssinian rosary, kind of counting the minutes on each bead, as Will lends to the ritual by delicately reaching out a hand to freeze over the surface of the pool, creating a mirror, a reflection, as we all do our roles. So the way that this works, where you're the primary caster, Falin, how this is going to work is that everybody who is a secondary caster rolls first, and then based on their rolls, you get a bonus or a penalty.
Oh.
So we're going to go ahead and start. I'll do the NPCs, and then Ash, you can roll me an occultism.
Thank you for knowing. I will never change.
Yeah. 100%.
Oh, that was cocked. Knocked? Okay. I rolled a 32.
32
Ooh.
slay. Okay, 1 second. I'm getting the modifiers for the other two.
I want to mention how sad I was because whenever the dice on my app was cocked, like, I think that's how it's said.
Yeah. It is.
Yes. Whenever it was cocked, it was between 2 and 20, and I was so stressed for like a solid second. And then it was just like, because on the app at the very bottom it says like what the dice landed on, and then it adds it all up because it's like assuming you're all rolling it in one. And then it was just like question mark, and I was just like, oh, well, that means I get a do-over.
It's Enyo.
El Nino.
Luca has spent the day in my room today. Fuck you mean no? My wrist hurts.
Yeah, fair enough. Sorry, Motiva, you rolled a 30? 30 even?
32.
32, okay. Okay. Falin, do you want me to roll nature or religion?
Religion, because that bonus is significantly better.
Okay. Do you want to tell me what your bonus is?
Plus 11.
You all sit here, and it is agonizing. Sitting here for hours, hoping that you will see something, but mostly to see something useful. To not waste this one chance you have at helping yourselves, helping Eleni. And you are shown multiple images. And each one is harder to parse than the last. Because the first image you see is almost a self-fulfilling prophecy of Motiva's worry going into this, as you see your own face, Motiva, eyes glazed over and throat ripped out. The entirety of the front of your outfit covered in dried blood. And the next one you see is of Falin. You are holding a knife, almost ritualistic in its make, with a gleaming ruby in the hilt, as you, with a look of determination, take that blade and slice your own wrist, as the blood drips down your forearm and pools on the sand beneath you. And that's all you get.
What the fuck? Hey, this is supposed to be over the course of the next few days. Hello? Oh my god. The fuck does that mean?
No one here likes what was just shown to them.
No! Not at all!
The next few days?
Not okay. It's usually in the next few days. So Panini could have pulled a god thing.
You won't know, though.
We won't know though, is the thing. For all I know, this could be tomorrow.
What the fuck?
Anyway, that's everything I had planned tonight. I hope you guys liked this session.
Jesus!
Any thoughts? Anything you're doing? Hope those images sit not well with you.
Not at all. I feel like
Nah.
Philette is fucking speechless.
Motiva's doing the thing that people do whenever they keep hearing somebody say, like, fleas, where she's, like, covering her neck.
Yeah!
Mhm.
Oh my god. Flynn grabbing her own wrist.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
man, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you guys have anything you want to do, I'm gonna stop recording. I don't really know what to do after that, but panic.
You don't know what to do. You?
I don't know if there's a way to top that. I think everybody is stunned.
We were all stunned, fucking speechless.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations, King.
Thanks. Okay, I'm gonna end the recording.
Wait, end the recording with the sound effect.
Okay, hold on. Okay, let me do it. Hold on.